Don't want to leave? Want to live at Disney World? I'll make it a realty reality. Everything from Dr. Phillips to Davenport, Claremont to Kissimmee, Winter Garden or Windermere, and Disney's own Celebration and Golden Oak. I'm Realtor Victor Naraki, and this is Disney at your doorstep. Please. Okay. Whew, there we go. So, got a lot of people watching already. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I knew it was going to be raining today, but I'm looking outside right now, and doesn't look like I'm going to be struck by lightning. So I could have gone, but it was a tough choice of where to go, and there wasn't that much that I haven't been to, unless I go way, way out. So I thought I would tell you about some of the things that happened this week, see if you have any questions, go over some of the questions that I've gotten this week. We'll talk about, when you have to get a loan, some of the things you want to watch out for, which are very simple but can happen to anybody. And let's see, So as you know, I'm Realtor Victor Naraki. How you doing? Sue! Hello, Sue. How are you? How's the pool, by the way? So you put in a pool after finishing construction. How long did it take you from start to finish, from the day you ordered it to the day you completed the pool? Anthony, hello. Hello, Anthony. I have you signed up at one of the communities that we're talking to. Hello, Diane. Hello. Hello, Richard. How are you doing? HOA approval took a few months. That's interesting, but now you're well on track. That's interesting. I don't know why they would take, I honestly don't know why they would take long to approve something like that. But as long as it gets done, anyway, so, all right. So actually, this was the busiest week I've ever had. So I'm kind of glad I didn't go out today because I need a rest. I've been out almost every day this week with, long days. Long day for me is 9 to 5 on the road. I don't show properties after 6 o'clock. And generally that's because the lock boxes they use don't work after 6. So I tend to just, want to be just a little bit more, just keep the hours confined a little bit. I find that anybody who's looking wants to look at property at 9 o'clock at night has other priorities during the day that are over. And so if buying a house is a second priority, that's not the place to put it. You have to put it first, especially if you're coming into town. So I don't like to do that. I've never shown anything at night unless it was very, very local and I got special approval from the listing agent and they told me I could come in and stuff like that. Where is the best retirement areas to live in Florida? Okay. There are about 400 different communities throughout Florida. In Central Florida, there's about 12 communities. Many of them are, 50% of them are new construction. There's 2 or 3 coming up that are coming to the area. One of the things is, if you want to be close to Disney World, there's not a lot of places that are being built. I just sold one that we close next week in St. Cloud. Now that's 45 minutes to an hour away from Disney World. That's Sunbridge. I have one that's about 5 minutes from where I live, and it's 2 minutes from Disney World. I envy them. They're closer to Disney World than I am. And then there's the Palms at Serenoa, which Diane has already mentioned here. Obsessed. Could you explain the process of entering a contract to have a house built? I love those type of questions. Okay, so here's the thing. To have a house, there's inventory homes, and then there's building from the ground up. Palms at Serenoa is a unique development. And the reason being is they say, okay, we have this lot here and it's 40 feet across. We're going to build a Del Rey on this lot. So they go and they request the permit with any structural options that they've choose at the time. And they put it on the market at a certain time and say, okay, you may be able to still choose your colors right now. You may be able to still choose your packages inside the home. But what that does is it decreases the waiting period that you have. And one of the most excruciating things, and I went through it, is waiting for your home to be built. I had to wait from, I had a contract. Mine wasn't too bad. I had a contract in July, and I was in by the end of February. So that was 7 months. So that meant 4 months for building, 3 months for the permit. So it's much better to, now Patty has also put now I always forget how much they ask to put down. If you don't mind sharing, Patty, how much were you asked to put down before the final payment was due at the end of construction? I always forget these things. What I would suggest is, oh, my mug's in the picture. Now, the good thing about buying new construction, obviously, is that the home everything is complete, everything's perfect, everything's finished. They want 20% down. Okay, Patty is saying 20% down, but that's at the conclusion of the contract when you're ready to move in. How much did they ask for you up front? Up front, like the first day. Was it $5,000? Was it something like that? Generally, they'll ask you for a small portion of the price of the home, and then you sign the contract, and then towards the end. Now, if you have to sell a house in order to move in, every builder has different philosophies of how they do that. But my strong suggestion is that you get that house on the market and that you have okay, so $9,200 was due at the signing of the contract. The balance of the 20% was due at the at closing. So when you have the day of your closing, you can have that's what's due. And they will give you hopefully they give you estimates on how much you're going to be due. Yeah. That was to $9,200 to hold the lot. Exactly. So, yeah. Sometimes it's a little difficult to navigate all this stuff and do the questions. So bear with me. So, so that's basically the process of buying a property. Now I will tell you that there they understand everybody's individual needs, but you have to come up with the initial deposit, like she said, $9,200. Now, honestly, that's about what, 4 or 5% of the cost of the house. So I would say that's not a lot of money. And but if you need to sell a home, you want to see if they are going to give you a, what it's called, oh gosh, what's it called? Okay, if you need to sell a home, you either have to have a contract on the house, or you have to have the house listed. Home to sell is you're putting the house on the market to sell. Home to close. Now, that means you have, your contingency. You have to have so the thing is, they will give you a certain amount of time to sell your home if it's a home to sell. If it's a home to close, that means you have a contract on your house already. Now, you need to have that, and you need to have them point to that in the contract, because worst case scenario is that you go there, you get to the end when your new house is ready and your house isn't sold yet, so that you could still back out of the deal without losing a lot of money. Now, sometimes you do lose when you purchase a lot of options. They'll charge you certain fees for, say, if you wanted something like a pool, and you put, you could lose those funds if you're not ready to buy at the close. Now, I did have a customer that had to extend and 2 months, and they were threatening to fine her this is not at this community, at another community, threatening to fine her $250 a day to keep the contract open. They did not do that. They often threaten, but don't ever rely on the good graces of a builder. Get that house on the market, get it sold, get it under contract. That's why some of those services like Open Door will buy your house from you, so that and then maybe lease it back. And some of the prices I've seen have been very, very reasonable. So, Diane, if you want to tell me any other information about what you're looking for, right now, the Palms at Sereno, I was just there yesterday. They are halfway through building. So they're saying, I think they're going to be completed by 2022. I mean, they may have everything sold, but not people moving in. So that means there will be resales in time. So I'm going to get back to Geraldine's question about what's the best retirement areas. I obviously think living near the most popular tourist attraction in the world is something that you can't replicate anywhere else. The prices can be a little higher here, but if you're on the coast like Naples and Tampa and of course Miami, those prices are significantly higher. But if you get between like Lakeland and Tampa, there's some over 55 communities that shock me at their prices. I don't handle them, but and it's just because the land is less expensive there. And why? Because there's nothing around. So you have to have a lot of good things to do in that community, and a good grocery store right outside your community. So do we have any other? Working with your realtor is imperative when buying and selling. Yeah, honestly, I don't want to undo what a realtor can do for you, but if you're in a time crunch, I have actually told customers that live in the same area, that I can't guarantee, and they've already put a contract on a house that I can't guarantee the time frame that it's going to sell in. Also, one of the things about Open Door is you don't have to do any. It's killing the real estate industry. It really is, but it's changing it too. And I think when I sell a house that I want to bring a handyman in and fix everything. So get everything, fixed beforehand. I also think that you should have, if you want to get top dollar, have an inspection beforehand. Because honestly, you don't want to sell a house that has an unknown problem, like an electrical problem. You want to get it tested, make sure you know. But the thing is about those things is having I'm going to get into this later when you're selling a house, is if you find something, you have to say something. And it's not always legally, but morally. So how does the price per square foot vary from very close to Disney to farther away? Well, I'm going to tell you this. I would say it could be as much as 20% less. That's why I like the community of Palms at Serenoa. I don't feel that it is overpriced for being so close. But I would say it's significantly, 20%, it would probably be about 20% less than other communities. Now, there's a nice community called Sola Vita, where you could get into a resale house in the 200s. That's very nice. So I would say, but the thing is, if you're going to be someone who says, I'm going to Disney I want to go to Disney once or twice a week. Well, us locals, we don't spend the whole day there. We spend a couple of hours. I go for lunch. I go into the park, maybe hit a ride if I see there's no line, and I leave. I don't think we go for an entire day. And if we do, it's, it's a long hour drive is a lot. So I'm going to go over to my banners. Today. Okay. So, is anybody looking at, oh, hold on. Oh, I got to check if I just got an alert that I'm not connected on my Facebook page, which would really suck. Yep, I am. Okay, great. Boy, so we've got 12 people watching today. Boy, I wish I had gone out today, because now on May 2nd, I'm going to be live from the Butler chain of lakes. I'm taking a boat tour of the homes, and just want to make sure everybody see, this is an area that you don't get to see unless you rent a boat. So anyway, so does anybody have any more comments before we move ahead? I'm going to go back and see if I missed anybody's. Hey, how are you? So a lot of my customers that bring up a subject, a lot of my customers have built pools afterwards, after buying the home. And I just wanted to say that is probably the best way to do it, because for a couple of reasons. Unfortunately, you don't get to move into the house and jump into your pool. But one of the things that really benefits you is that you, first of all, chances of it getting on your taxes are limited. Okay, so you're not paying taxes on that price. Always remember to homestead right away. I'll talk to you about that in a second. We've covered it a lot of times. But also, you're not paying a premium price for it when you get it through the builder. So that's because the builders, if it's attached to the builder always charges a little premium onto it. So it could be better to do it later on, but it certainly doesn't. It takes time. It's not an overnight process. So anyway, let me see. I'm not getting many questions, so I'm going to go over. Is anybody interested in selling their homes in the recent near future? Because I've just got I'm putting together some tips and suggestions on selling a home. Okay, here's what I say. It's got to be clean, available, in neutral colors. I cannot tell you. I think my customer that just bought $1 million, 1,200,000, one of the largest sales I've ever had. When I walked into it and when I got to the front of the house, it was filthy. It had mildew around the door frames. It had the bugs that they were just embedded in the ceiling above the entryway. It was really not didn't look like $1 million house. And in this market, it was priced right, but in this market, if things are priced right, they go quickly. People hesitate when they get a negative feeling about a house, and it's simply a matter of getting it professionally cleaned. Now, we eventually, and I paid for this, was we cleaned the house before they came there. Because it was just so disgusting. I mean, it wasn't $1 million. The way it looked, it wasn't $1 million house. Not at all. So I always suggest if you may think this is something that is understood, but I love dirty houses because I know my customer is going to save some money. I was at one house that was $370. It needed a handyman. It needed cleaning, but honestly, it was priced $20,000 less, and they didn't have any competition on offers. And that's a very big thing to say. You need to get that house professionally cleaned. Don't think you can do it yourself. Have it professionally cleaned. They always say, take out all your personal items, but that is more than necessary. That is really very important as well. But it's got to be clean. And also, don't show the house if you've got anything in your medicine cabinets, because there are people who just come to these things just to steal things out of medicine cabinets. So, like, for example, I don't like to do open houses. I don't like to do that because you can't manage all the people unless the house has been emptied. If it's been emptied, I say, okay, have an open house. I mentioned earlier, have a pre-listing inspection. I think that is, a lot of agents will say, no, don't do that because you have to reveal what's wrong. But don't you honestly want to reveal what's wrong? Don't you want to know what's wrong? I mean, I think if your house is, a few years old, get it done. And you could leave the inspection report on the counters. And I've had this happen twice with sales. One that I was representing, one that I was the buyer's agent for, where the inspection report was left on the counter, property of the owners, and the people waived their own inspection. Great. I don't like that. I don't think you should ever waive an inspection. I think you should always have an inspection if you want one. And if you're buying new, you can always have an inspection 8 months later because you're still under a 1-year warranty. Anyway, that's going back to another side. Hire a handyman, make sure everything is fixed. I cannot believe, sometimes I have customers that don't want to see a house because the pictures are so horrible. And they go, oh, the house looks dark. And I'm like, no, it's on a beautiful street. I know where it is. I know how this builder builds. And I have to force them to go see it. Guess what? They're going to save a bundle because the agent's cheap and doesn't want to pay money for photography. And maybe the owner doesn't want to pay money for photography but it's always money well spent for professional photography. I'm going to skip over this one. Leave the home while showing, but be nearby. So honestly, if you're showing your house, okay, someone's asking me a question about Royal Cypress. I'll get to that in a second. Let me just, where was I? Oh yeah, honestly, you don't want to be the focus. So if you could get out of the house, be out of the house, or maybe have a friend stay there, but you don't want to be the focus. You don't want them to remember anything about you. You want them to be only thinking about the house. I've had this happen, and people forget about the house. They remember the person they met. So here we go. This is a great, okay, Royal Cypress. I understand it's close to Golden Oak, but wanted to know more about the development and the area around it. Yes, that's on the border. Royal Cypress is on the border of, it's sold out now. It was new construction up until a few months ago. They have like they may have one home left, which was a model. Beautiful view. And it has views of Golden Oak. You see the Four Seasons Hotel. But it is all sold out right now. Everything would be a resale at this point. Is there anything, Bonnie, that you really want to know about it? It's in Windermere. So if you drive out and you turn right out of the parking lot, you can get onto Vista Way. Vista Way would take you, and that's probably like a half a mile. Vista Way would take you straight into Disney World. So you're only a couple of minutes away. You're in Windermere, which has the Orange County school system. The high school is right up the street, and there's a grocery store. Yeah, there's grocery stores right nearby. So it's a good builder. So I would definitely, if there's a resale in there, it's certainly something to consider. They're beautifully built with clay roofs and everything like that. Does anybody else have any comments about any individual communities that I may know about, may not? Bonnie, if you're interested in knowing anything more about it, email me and I will get back to you on that. So, okay, so let's see. We're just going to go for about 20 more minutes, and I just wanted to see if you have any, want to talk to you about one of the communities that I recently sold in. Actually, we closed last Tuesday? There we go. So this is Windsor Island. And Windsor Island is located in Davenport. It's no more than 15 minutes from Disney World. So this has townhomes and single-family homes, and it's basically an investment community. Or you could use it for your second home. But you can't, they have restrictions about living there because of the school system. But it's got a water park. It's got little mini golf that's coming in. And this is all going to be ready in August. Let's see if I can get this bigger on here. There we go. There we go. I can't wait till I can get the real actual video on this, but it's really going to be an amazing community. So someone would, I don't know if you've ever stayed in an short-term rental community as opposed to renting on property, but there's a lot of benefits. Even if you just rent here and don't own in here, there's a lot of benefits to doing that. Because honestly, you can get 5 bedrooms for the cost of 1. So that's that community. Let me get that off. That is investment community. That's how I started in real estate, really. In Florida, bought my first home in 2008. I was renting for about 3 years. Okay, well, Hatbox Ghost. Okay, this is a good question. To stay under 300K, you could do that in a 2-bedroom in the Palms at Surrey. You could also, if you within 45 minutes, you could go to Solavita and have some of the best community features that I've ever seen anywhere. They have 150,000 square foot of community features. That is huge. They have a pizza restaurant, which is actually good pizza. I've eaten there a couple times. They have 2 golf courses. It is gated entry. They have a little pharmacy there, which is adorable. And they have now I'm not sure if they still have the bank on property, because last time I was there, I didn't see the bank sign. Oh, and they have 2 other restaurants. They have they have one that's sort of middle of the road, and then one that's sort of high end. So they have the high end. Well, aren't Solavita's HOA fees really high though? Yeah, they are. Well, I think they're under 400, which I don't consider high for a gated community. You're getting your lawn care done. There's 150,000 square foot of features. So they've got like Muco instructors for the gym area. The thing is, if you use the stuff, it's a great deal. It really is. If you don't use the stuff, it's not a good deal. Now, every over 55 community is going to have some sort of HOA fees. There's no way around it unless you get, there's some lower priced ones, like, for example, Polo Park, where you'd get a resale house in the 200s. They are not well kept. My kitties are fighting. Excuse me, don't you do that. Go, stop it. Okay. So, so Solavita's HOA fees, can be a little pricey. So, all right. So now I'm going to talk to you. I've been talking every day about this new community. Is going to be the Oasis, which is it's 2 minutes from Disney World. Now, of course, that means it's going to have a higher price tag. Definitely. But they're announcing the plat map, I would say, probably at the end of the summer. And if you want to get on their mailing list of information, I would say that now is the time to do that. It's going to be more of a boutique community. They haven't announced how many homes there's going to be, but in comparison to other communities, I think it's going to be half the size, with a 14,000 square foot of community center features. So that's going to be right outside the gates of Disney World. What do I think the prices are going to start at? Its sister community in Sunbridge starts at $270, and that's for a villa which shares a wall. I have a very strong feeling that the Ellenwood model is going to start at $350. I just feel like you're not going to get into a single family home for less than $400. But if you want to be close to Disney and that's what you're looking for, it might be something to consider. 1,900 square feet. Step inside. So this is one of the models that's coming in there. This is at another community. Please ask any questions that you have. I really would appreciate it. Now here it's shown. Wow, the sun. Now the sun's out. Well, anyway. And a study. This can be converted into a bedroom. So let's look first over at I actually sold this model
Bathroom.
at another community. We just wrote the contract.
Nice bedroom. Queen size bed, lots of space
Yesterday.
in there.
It's at a different community.
Then this is the room that could
And
be
this is
an
their
extended
fourth.
garage.
This is you can have a. This is the third bedroom here, but you can have it as a fourth bedroom.
As the third bedroom. Here you have a laundry room.
One thing I want to pause right here is we're looking at, you know, the laundry room. Features like this, like you know, countertops and everything in a house in the laundry room are what they consider options that you can do, you know, that you can pick at closing. They can, you know, that is what when you see prices, always remember that that price is really the base price. And I always say it's cheaper to do, it's probably cheaper to do it later on. Probably. We'll skip ahead there. Look at this kitchen. Now that's a gourmet kitchen. That has to be picked. If you want a gourmet kitchen, you have to pick that as part of your structural options. And then later on you pick, you know, the quality of the cabinets and the quality of the countertop.
Very large covered lanai, which we'll see in just a few moments. Owner's suite. Here we have a nice step-in shower. Little drying area right here.
Okay.
And a
Let's skip ahead.
and of course,
okay, now the lanai.
Pool. But here we have a beautiful covered lanai. Lots of area out here. Thank you for watching this initial presentation of the Oasis.
Okay, so how are you guys? Any thoughts, any questions that you have about any community? If you want to know about any community, please, like we talked about the Royal Cypress, please give me a ring, call me, okay? This is a community.
Now, as you enter the home, there are 4 bedrooms on the first level. And you have the option of 1 to 2 more on the second.
Okay, I sold this house in another community, very similar model to this house. This is built by Dream Finders Homes. And this is actually, this model we're looking at is in Mineola. So Mineola really does provide a really competitive price points.
Got a beautiful open floor plan. And over to my right, there's another bedroom with its own adjacent bath. The owner's suite. Here it's shown with a garden tub. On the second floor, you could put.
Just move ahead. Now, this is if you have a second floor addition. But if you want to see this video, go to vicvid.com. It's up there. Got a nice question from Hatbox Ghost. Other than 55 plus communities, what single family homes communities under 3K might I search on? I would look, there'd be not specific communities. However, in Haines City and Winter Haven does have some really good options in there. Haines City is, the prices are rising everywhere. They're going up across the board. They went up 16% last year. So always remember that. You could look at prices right now, and they're going to be higher in a year if everything continues the way it is. But what you're asking for also is you'd prefer a little room between the homes. Then you have to go with an older home. Honestly, I cannot tell you, I can't find for you a house on 100-foot wide lot in a new construction area unless it's an estate home. It just doesn't happen in new construction. So if you go with older homes, if you go with over a certain square feet, because honestly, it just doesn't happen. They're building with, by law, the minimum they can put a house next to another house is 10 feet apart, 5 feet on each side. So that's what you're going to find. Honestly, that's it. Now I want to show you a couple of things. I'm going to see if I can get them up here. Let me get rid of that. Hope that answered your questions, Hatbox Ghost. There's an interesting new community. Let me see. See if I can get this up here. Oh, okay. All right. Well, sorry about that. Okay, so this is a new community. I don't know if for you guys who are, hey, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the 192 and the 27, but this is Kagan Crossing. And these houses are starting in the low 300s. So, but I don't think you'll get out of here for less than 360, 370 after lot premium and options. But still, that's a very affordable price. And look at these lots. They all seem to face a conservation area. So that's a really nice little thing to have. Let me see if I'm going to see if I can get this share screen window. Nope. Anyway. Oh, okay. Someone else. Yeah, I'll tell you. I hear this a lot. That people because the house is being so close together. It's just something you have to deal with, that you're not going to get a big lot with a $300,000 home. Okay, if you purchased a house in Florida now, I'm ready to move from Indiana. Would it make sense to buy and hire someone to charge or be in charge of renting it out for now, save money in the long run? Okay, that's a very good question. I'm really loving these questions, and I got one from Bonnie coming up. Okay, it makes sense on your own financial, needs. Your own finances. I can't speculate on if you've paid off, if you've already paid off a home, if you haven't. But I would say that with the current market, the people who bought with the idea of moving in later, who bought in 2017 made a good deal, 2018 made a good deal, 2019 made a good deal. because the houses have appreciated. And in some cases, they are priced out now of buying that same home. So they would rent it out. Now, if you wanted to rent it short term, like as a vacation rental, and then you use it occasionally, remember that you probably won't want to live in a short-term rental community. And I warn people about that a lot. It's, it's not my place to judge, but I want to, if that's what you want or not. But I got to warn you that you're probably not going to enjoy your retirement years living next to a vacation rental. So some people will do that if you can afford to rent it out. If you can afford to buy it. Here's the thing: if you buy it as a second home, you really can't rent it out without, because you're getting your loan as a second home. If you buy it as an investment property, you can. That's just something to consider. Okay. What about new construction single-family homes very close to the immediate area? Yeah, there's quite a few coming up. In fact, Taylor Morrison and Ashton Woods just bought some land 5 minutes to Disney. I always think, where are they going to build? Where else can we build here? Well, you know what? There's a lot of spaces that you could build here. So they just bought, I think, 25 acres. And Ashton Woods is the builder that I have for my house. I was very happy with everything that they did. Taylor Morrison is a good builder as well. So they're building, and from what I see from the land aerial thing, there is some, waterfront property. Okay, so I would say yes, but it depends on your price point, Bonnie. If you're, under 300, it's going to be tight to find anything new construction in immediate area, Disney area. If you're in the Royal Cypress range of million, yes, and you could probably find some nice resales too. Do over 55s appreciate faster or slower than non-over 55s? I haven't seen any evidence that they are slower to appreciate. I feel that Solavita has some really good resale prices. Now, sometimes I find that when you buy in any community, okay, so say you buy a house, $200,000, if that was possible. You bought a house, $200,000, and they're building new construction down the street for $220,000. It's difficult for you to compete and buy, and do that. So it's difficult for you to compete with that property because people are going to want to buy new. So I feel in that respects, when people are trying to resell homes and they're really in need of reselling, but they're still building in that community, it's tougher. And that's why I think sometimes resales get good prices in Solavita. Okay. Okay. Oh, I got some good questions coming up. Bike and Patty, but nature behind, that's nice. No neighbors watching you make dinner. You know what? I'll tell you, yes, but that comes with the price. That's a conservation view. So you'll be told by the county that they will never build back there. It's deeded back to the state so that, the builder buys the land and says, okay, this section is going to be conservation. You're not going to build on there. So very great idea and good thing to do. Can you buy 2 lots and build 1 house? For the most part, no. For the most part, no. I mean, people will always say to me, but they allow it in Golden Oak. And my thought is, yeah, they're $4 million houses. And you're going to build an $8 million house. So yeah, they allow it there. You're going to build there? So it's honestly, they're not going to happen. It's not going to happen because they've plotted it out as far as what it's going to be. And if you want to pay a premium price, I would suggest just buying a piece of land. But that is really cost prohibitive from what I'm seeing. Any insights to Island Village? Okay. And we'll start to close up soon. So if you have any questions, please ask. Island Village is coming in. I asked them recently, and in fact, I was going to do it this, one of the things I was going to do was this weekend was try to go in there, but Island Village is part of Celebration. It's the final development within Celebration. It is built exclusively by Mattamy Homes. Very nice builder. And it's going to be, so about 1,000 homes. There's also going to be some apartments in there too, and some businesses as well. But you know what? They're not. I asked them I made the mistake of asking them if I can go in and look at it. And they said, oh, don't do that. Don't do that now. We really don't like to have people coming in. So they're a little bit behind schedule. Also, there's going to be a new school in there, which my friend who's on the school board was telling me about. If you go back to my interviews, you could see my interview with her. So there is going to be a school in there, and they're just putting out the bids for the designs. So it's definitely something that's going to be the next hottest thing in this area. Celebration. One of the things about Celebration is predominantly it was built all wood construction, all frame construction, which nobody does around here anymore, just because the speed they wanted, I guess. So that has been a problem with some of the older homes. You do have to get a termite bond and things like that. And here's something. This is something that's coming up that Bonnie is mentioning. Have you heard about the expansion of Golden Oak across the street from Golden Oak? I heard that was a thought. Well, you know what? I haven't heard anything about that. And I'm going to look into it immediately when I'm done with this. Actually, one of the representatives of Golden Oak lives in my community. So, but if I do hear about it, I will get it on television. If anybody knows anybody who actually lives in Golden Oak, let me come in there and take a little video tour, because honestly, that place is, I've gone in there several times. I haven't sold in there yet. I would love to, believe me, just because of the price point. And also it's the most amazing community that you've ever seen. Everything is top of the line. I mean, elevators and great community center. I would certainly like to be, let me just do this one thing. Oh, so crazy. Okay, great. So one of the last questions I'll take: buying and renting short-term. I think I'll move. Sure, sounds like a bad idea. I believe it. Listen, you could buy and you can rent it out, but I wouldn't want to live there. And if it's honestly, if you want it's a good idea if okay, I'll get to angry. Okay, it's a good idea if you want to use it continually as a short-term rental and come down occasionally during the year. I have customers that come down and they're snowbirds and then they rent it out the rest of the year. Things like that are good options, really good options. So the thoughts on Del Webb in Davenport over 55 community. I will tell you, I think that community is so beautifully laid out, and it has some great community features, including, for its size, an indoor pool, which I think is, an indoor heated pool, which is a terrific feature to have. I mean, it's like one of those pools that you remember from high school when they were huge, you know? So it really is a great, great community. The prices are very, I think they're very competitive, and it is a gated community, which is also one of the great features. Almost all over 55 communities are gated in some way. Either they're guard gated or they have an electronic gate. It's about 25 minutes to Disney World, and it could be longer if there's a lot of traffic. Okay. So it's just something to, someone saying hi to More Beverly, please. Hi, everyone. I don't remember if I got to this one. Yeah, I did, but you can know in almost all cases, you cannot buy two lots and build them, put them together. So does anybody have any other questions here for me? Anything else you want to talk about? Yes, last week I had a really bad, I thought it was a bad incident because I went to a community that I had heard about. I had heard about it, and it was a little further up than I usually go, so I didn't get to check it out that much. But when I got there, I immediately was confronted by this consistent car noise. And I'm sorry, I think if you're coming to Florida to live and retire, you don't want to.
Let's go in. This is 3.
Listen to this. Now that's the wind. And
I got to tell you something. I wouldn't sell this home unless I showed it. If someone wanted.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind in that, but you can't hear that the road noise that is behind it. It was unbelievable and consistent. It was just, I mean, and it's not going to stop. And even at night, it's not going to stop. And this area is growing so much that if I had the Florida Turnpike behind my house, I would not want to live there. So honestly, if people say, "Oh, I'm used to it. I'm used to the sound. I've heard that before," I go, fine. But it's the kind of thing where if sometimes people will say to me, "Victor, go check out this community for me," and I go check it out, and they may not notice these things from the live streaming I'm doing. So that would be a house that I'd have to have someone come out and say, "Okay, you got to hear this." And the new development is even going to be closer to the highway. So it really is, it's always something that's, something you have to consider, where you want to, if you want to be that close to a highway. So, does anybody have any other questions for me? Anything else? If you're selling a home, if you're buying a home. So next week, I am going to be live from Lake Butler. Hopefully it won't rain. If it does rain, we'll be canceled and we'll reschedule. But I'm really hoping that we're going to be going to see. Be a couple people from 2 of my customers. Another live streamer is going to be there. So we're going to be live from Lake Butler. I'll probably point out some houses, and it's always, I love taking tours. I love taking tours of places. So, and certainly I've never seen Lake Butler from inside Lake Butler. So if anybody has any questions for me, to reach me at my website, disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Just go there and you can get all my links at disneyatyourdoorstep.com. It's also a great place to share with anybody who's interested in relocating to Central Florida. Anyway, I appreciate your time today. I'll just ask one more time if there's any questions or anything that I'm hoping to be at the Oasis, as soon as they start breaking ground. They have blocked off the road. I was trying to show it to someone yesterday, and they've blocked off the road to get to the Oasis. So just something to consider, that I'm going to be there. If you want to do, we talked about investment properties for short term. I'm hoping to do some more on that soon as well. And anyway, so this was sort of impromptu. I didn't know if I was going to do it today. I was going to go out. I was going to do, some in celebration, but I want to wait until I can get into Island Village. So they haven't announced prices yet. They haven't really announced anything. So I'm really looking forward to getting in there and seeing stuff. So if you have any questions, just go to my Facebook page, and I will, go to my DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com, and I can certainly help you there. So, okay. Now, maybe another question. Thank you, Ray. Okay. You're welcome, LJ. And please remember, if you ever hear of anybody buying or selling a home in this area, to give them my name. I really would appreciate it. Okay. And we'll see you soon, probably next week.
Making the dream of a Disney lifestyle a reality. I'm Victor Naraki. Contact me on Facebook at Naraki Realtor or my website, celebratingflorida.com. Thanks for watching Disney at Your Doorstep.